Alright, we return for episode 2. I don't know. So seeing a certain YouTube video that I watched like probably 10 minutes ago gave me something of an idea for some sort of like a spin-off of the series. I've tried this once, I guess. I'm aware it was like the kind of Ferrari Academy with a bunch of other, well, Ferraris in the race. And it was boring as all sin because everyone was in the same car, so there was no passing or anything. It was just a conga line, basically. But the idea was there, it was just a matter of interesting character ideas alone don't really help. But the spin-off would be on a different game, actually, but not gonna get too much into it. Not sure what I would call it either. Well, I have an idea, I just don't know how well it would work. But the use of this different game would actually allow for several more tracks and locations and even other conditions of weather and such, because it's a slightly new, a bit considerably newer and more detailed game. It's meant the game tried to pull some sort of like reverse grid shenanigans, except it's already fallen apart. At least for slide out it has, not so much for Grease Lightning and Madison on the front row. But all the big contenders at the front are right up there too. Except for Twin Mill, who's down in 14th. But I'm sure he can probably recover, but otherwise all of the other three of the top 4 points are right at the front. One thing's for sure, the Powerpuff Girls with no Burns weakness. They've dealt with plenty of aliens in the past, so... They dealt with like 4 different kinds of alien invasions now. If you count the video games as canon to the series, which I do in this case, because this is a video game, so it would only make sense that I did that. See, there was, well, the Lord Planet Fuse invasion and Fusion Fall. That's the, I guess the more relevant one. But then there's their PS2 and GameCube game where they fight Pickwoids. I guess Alien Pickles to follow up on the actual series where they dealt with Alien Broccoli. We'll see a pattern here. And, there's one more kind, I don't remember what it was. Either way, they dealt with aliens and they've dealt with space probably as much as Burn has, so... Let's see if nope, that's not Blossom, that's Twin Mill. Never mind, Bubbles can maybe exploit that weakness to remain ahead here. The car should be remotely even, but, Burn may do something rash, although now that'll be Twin Mill that gets it, not her. And somehow Madison will lead the first lap in like the second or third worst car. And yet Grease Lightning in a slightly better vehicle, although albeit with less horsepower, fell down the order quickly. Burn thought about it, But then he realized he also had to make the turn, basically. And poor little Blossom back here. She has the run on burn, but can she do anything with it? She'll try. This isn't really a passing zone, in my experience. However, it can be if you force your opponent onto a terrible exit like that one. 3 Titan is dropping like a rock. So as I mentioned in the comment earlier, in the last episode, in replying to you, yeah, now that I thought about it, I did say that none of Beat That was actually canon, nor was, or in Universe Zero, anything after the world race didn't happen because they've been stuck here in Universe Zero. Granted, they've technically found a way out, but they just don't take it yet because they're not done here, I guess. I guess they're trying to recruit a large group of other drivers besides just Hot Wheels, so they have outside experience so that if it ever comes to another dimension again, they will have the upper hand in experience. But yeah, like stunt track driver, micro racers, and the other difficulties of Beat That never happened in Universe Zero as a result of that. So, long and short of it, Grease Lightning here isn't really a bad guy. He's still been tortured by that, and that's why So Fast. But other than that, Grease Lightning is just kind of as he was. Actually, if you're looking to gain an even further points advantage, and he might get it here. Caught Buttercup napping there. Which, I mean, when you're 5 years old, you nap a lot, so. Buttercup still isn't pleased, though, and try something insane. It doesn't even hopefully work. I just, like, mind blanked for a minute there. Oops. Oh yeah, like a battle for a third, and a battle for the lead, which I don't think will last terribly long. The 2 long straightaways here do wonders for the RX-7 remaining ahead. It does have some speed to it, and at somewhere like Monza, I would expect that thing to do decent, but, it only does so much, especially when XT3 is clearly the dominant one here in this championship, and with the car to do that. Yeah, as you can see, XT3, even with like the probably second best car here, I would still say that well, actually, I think the Cayman's a better car. It just keeps keeps getting unlucky. XT3's got like second best at least, and can't keep up with that RX-7, which I said is like the second or third worst, ahead of probably only the rally car and Burns Countach. Bubbles since you're being bullied, so this doesn't really shock anyone. I think I might have some clue of what this was. Yep. Big meanie burn. As she would say. And then he tries to go for the double take, but whiffs. So I see Burns' aggression has not changed, regardless of who his opponents are. Not that I figured that would change it, but you would think that they would kind of have some sort of shared dislike of the robotic kind, and that therefore Burn wouldn't be aggressive towards the girls, considering how much kind of... I guess they don't hate them, but the girls tend to have to deal with a lot of robots. It happens when your arch enemy is basically Dr. Eggman in the shape of a monkey. Still really tight, probably because Madison is slightly blocking the other cars, so theoretically anybody of these top three could win. I don't think Buttercup will. She'd have to pass two cars and down one straightaway. That is not terribly easy to do unless she does something really incredibly nuts into the final two corners. I don't foresee that happening, especially not from this distance, because, well, she lacks the handling that you would need to get through the corners like XT3 is. I don't know how Madison's doing it, I guess because she's blocking XT3, but basically the only reason Buttercup is still on them is because Madison is the one in front. I don't think anybody would be on XT3 if that weren't the case, so, you know. Yeah, even with her decent power, there is no chance Buttercup is going to be close enough for any kind of maneuver into the final turn. I don't even know, I think XT3 might be. Will he actually do it? Well, he wants to. But Madison actually kind of closes that route. There's the noisy V8. Just moments, just a few feet, 100 feet behind or so. And against any odds, Madison actually sneaks a win. The clutch RX-7 with the speed you need to stay ahead. Another lap and Danny might have actually passed Dexter, so good thing for him, it's only a 4-lap race. I think you can see why it's only 4 laps, because it's almost 3-minute laps in these cars, and that means we just had like an 11-minute race. Alright, so now there's over an entire race worth of points between XT3 and anyone else. Treadmill absolutely suffered in that race. He couldn't get anywhere because he was just busy struggling with avoiding burn and clearing the Powerpuff Girls in a vehicle a bit down on top speed. Now we go to the most probably basic track, the GP Nürburgring circuit. It's one of the more balanced tracks. I don't really feel like any kind of archetypical vehicle, like, you know, power vehicle versus top speed versus acceleration versus cornering ability or anything. I don't think any one archetype wins out here, so... Because there are two, arguably three, pretty long straightaways. And then there's also some very diverse selections of turns. Now, for the full Nürburgring, of course, handling cars win. Battery is low, but I think it should easily make it at least to the end of this recording session. Even if it couldn't, it's not like I can't charge it anyway. I just don't feel like I need to. Ow. I like how Danny's suspension is so loose it bounced around when it was placed on the grid. Well, our big championship contenders can gain a little bit of space on XC3. I don't know how much. I don't think very much, but a little bit. However, Governor's been known to pull a couple of miracles from pole before. So I think it depends on a lot on how much Grease Lightning holds up the opponents and how much the opponents hold each other up. Madison again, just out of nowhere. We're doing 3 wide into the first corner. This was never gonna go well. Buttercup a little shaken. Shooken is not a word. Vanellope getting a little racy. This is the first time she's been a real factor. I haven't even mentioned her like presence very often. She's been like just kind of there in this act. Sofast actually had a good start. He gained 2 places at one point, lost 1 to XD3 just now, and Byrne really did not have a good start. Bubbles wasn't too much better, but Vanellope is the cause for that, getting an absolute rocket start and gaining almost 3 places. XC3 and Sofast are really dueling it out over there. I've also sort of neglected Captain Falcon a bit in this too. And Grease Lightning is actually holding on to second against Twin Mill and Buttercup. As I say that, this may change. It might not. We'll have the inside here. And, yep, Twin Mill, and with help from Twin Mill totally missing the exit of the turn, Grease Lightning stays there. And Madison is finding a second wind here. I think she was like second last in points at the start of this act, and now she's like probably gonna be like 7th or 8th in points. With a result like this, finishing 4th, assuming she stays here. And Buttercup is well, if you do that, you will not. You don't want to clip that. That kind of surprises people, even me, when I race this track in my own games. Buttercup is the one that we're kind of looking at to, like, hold up, though, because she is the one who is doing excessively well in points. She is second behind XT3. XT3 having his own set of problems, he just runs so fast right out of the way. But doesn't seem to have really... Well, bottom line, it doesn't knock him out, anyway. It definitely had an effect on him, because he lost 2 places, and Now he's muscling Blossom out of the way. Blossom seems to not be very confrontational about that. That's surprising me there. I guess she's smart enough to know to pick her own fights. Except that now I'm getting like a mixture of the two philosophies, either the mixture of the regular philosophy they have, or obviously they will take on any monster of any size, confident that they can defeat it and that they have to as well, because no one else can. But then there's also the philosophy of, I don't have to do it because the soldier can do it. Oh. First I thought Dexter made big progress. He actually went backwards. In a big way. Twinmill has cleared Grease Lightning. And now he's working on the governor, and I think he will have him. Using all of the road. And does make it stick. So Twinmill is of course looking to be the big gainer here. And see if and how Buttercup can deal with Grease Lightning in the coming laps. So I would think she has the juice to get around him, even down maybe the straightaway. If she ain't on the brakes for long, she does not hesitate, and she'll just throw it right in there. Does she finish it though? I don't think so. She's got the outside for the next two corners, and that doesn't help when the vehicle has superior handling on your inside, but a little assistance from Governor keeps her there for this turn. And Governor, this has gone from Grease Lightning defending from Buttercup to Grease Lightning taking second away from the Governor, because Governor slipped up. What the heck was that? And now Madison's taking advantage of Buttercup trying to merry-go-around on Grease Lightning there. I don't think he'll get the move done though. We have it. He has outside there. Yeah, that's too much curve. Otherwise, you almost had it. XT3 now takes his advantage of Madison's slip up, but doesn't actually do anything with it. Probably bearing in mind the boy genius back here in this Italian fat car. And this is just sweet music to Twinmill, who will now just escape the facility. And he ain't coming back. Doesn't really matter what Grease Lightning has to say about it, or Governor, or Buttercup for that matter. I don't think anyone's catching that guy now. The only hope anybody had was that somebody passed Twinmill before Twinmill passed the Governor, and then that person that passed Twinmill then passed the Governor, and then we might have had a different story. That didn't happen, obviously. And Grease Lightning take advantage of all of the battling back there, and he gets away from even the other four. At least for now. Twinmill with some clean air, I imagine, just set an absolutely rampant lap, and indeed sub 2 minute 20. Whereas other cars are in the mid 2 minute 20s, so yeah, I don't think there was ever a hope in hell for most of the other cars here. Twinmill broke away and just, well, took the money and ran. So Fast and Bubbles are the only two and Grease Lightning are the only three whose positions have not changed since the offset. And it really doesn't look like they're going to either. Blossom is heading a small group of cars, So Fast, herself, and Vanellope. Bubbles arguably is in that group, but I don't really think so. But of course, that's not what we're focused on. We're focused on this lead 6, basically. Not much is really happening here either. So we should focus back here because I saw So Fast was forcing the issue on Vanellope, and with her terrible exit of the turn, So Fast will now move up a position. And now is upon the laziest redhead, the laziest superhero in all of the land. She got a little complacent in the events of Fusion Fall, and this kind of happened in a lot of most universes. She wasn't really, outside of Universe 2, she wasn't really a big part of anything. She was helpful, she had experience, she just didn't do anything. She couldn't even break a metal trap at one point. She needed to have the player get a key to get her out of there because it was draining her energy. Lady, you can lift a 747. What? It was like hypocritical. What I mean, I get there's the idea that the player is the one that has to do it, but, like, you've seen Fallout and Skyrim and similar games like that. There's, like, companions and stuff. Like, sure, there's, like player groups in Fusion Fall where you can work with other players, but what if that's not good enough? What if I want help from a capable Cartoon Network hero who could easily just fight the things off with me? You could easily just, you know, meet Ben 10 and have him join you on your, you know, adventures and missions and such. And, I doubt the devs have ever seen this, obviously. There's no way in hell they would. But, the 15 developers of that game, or the remake of that game, but I know they're remaking, or not the remaking, they're making another kind of variation of the same game. And speaking of variation, as Bubbles tries to make a variation in the finishing order by trying to out-drag Vanellope down the straightaway. The M4, I couldn't really tell you how it performs in comparison to other cars because she hasn't really dueled for position with it very much, and that's not going to help. But, like, I'm pretty sure when the Fusion Fall originally came out, its tagline was fighting alongside your favorite Cartoon Network heroes. Except all they do is stand there. I mean, there's hardware stipulations. That's one thing. It's a PC game, though. It shouldn't have those. Also, there's been a lot of contact up here at the front, and I'm just thoroughly confused by the positioning of the other cars. So I guess while I was ranting about Fusion Fall again, I know it's a problem I have, but it's relevant to the storyline, so I kind of feel like it's not the worst thing to rant about. What the heck? What is that closing distance? Imagine Grease Lighting is probably pissing himself in the mirror right now. Or from looking in the mirror after seeing that. Like, American Muscle just charging headlong about into your head. Next thing is to not clip that. He has in fact clipped that, and that's not good for your point standing, is it? I guess he's angry at Dexter, so he'll just kind of force him away. Danny will take advantage, as he usually does. Hang on. Why would I want second gear? Quit stalling me. Okay, there's cars coming. What is wrong here? What the heck was all of that? I'm curious now. What kind of tires am I on? Oh, I can't look now because the race is over. But XT3 does finish, but he does not score any points. And he also finishes last, basically. Dexter finishes last, so... That bombshell... Blossom moves into 6th place. Which is where she started. But she had 2 larger superior vehicles that started directly behind her, so... She didn't really have the greatest odds, but then those 2 vehicles kind of took each other out. So Blossom will reap the rewards of their incompetence. And Buttercup is now only 7 points off. Twinmill, another point off of that. And Dexter could be a lot closer, but XT3 just seemed to not like Dexter. Oh my God, excuse me. One thing I do wish was in this game, I don't really care much about the lack of weather, but I would like to have seen cars, like, being destroyed better. I mean, there's a damage model. We've seen it in action plenty of times. It's just a matter of... Other games in this genre that have come out recently have had, like, vehicle damage to the max. Like, terminal damage. And, like, you can lose tires and your engine can blow out, which I think it's happened in this game, so I can't really say... Yeah, it can happen in this game, so I can't really comment there. And we've seen tire blowouts, but they never pop off completely. And I guess we can't really expect burnout damage models in this game, because it has enough to simulate. It's just like... There are some cases where it just seems like the vehicle should be taking more damage from what it just did. If not, wrecking completely altogether. So what happened here when I tried to leave the damn pits? Okay. That's normal. Oh, that's a corner. I like knee-jerk reaction like 5 minutes in advance. Also, even I can drive this thing, or I can drive even this thing pretty well, actually. I might go for a lap record. Oh, like a lap record. But unfortunately, that'd start me on pole. I can't really see everyone behind me that way, but I can look back, I guess. It's just the junior course is the only reason why I'm doing this, because laps will take like a minute each. Let's see, and I guess the breaking point here. I've chosen well enough. Barely. Oh, I missed. Stopped it. Ouch. Why did that make such a loud noise? I barely hit that hay bale, and it's like, thunk, like I just hit a bomb. What the f... I strongly disagree with that. Oh my god, Buttercup ran 26 laps. Huh, you know, that actually simulates lap times, doesn't it? No, it doesn't. It just simulates them around me, because there's no way the XU3 would have qualified 12th. I kind of have to get off the line now, don't I? Because otherwise I'll just block burn and slide out behind me. and goodbye. Yeah, I remember these lap times, and if they get anywhere even, if they don't get close to them, I'll be severely disappointed in this game. Buttercup ran 26 laps, allegedly, in qualifying, and the best she could muster was a 54.2. She's like the third best car here! What do you mean? Even for this track. Especially for this track, it has like the second most horsepower behind Danny's. Knowles once again off into an early lead. XT3 has not made enough progress and is not currently in the points. I think that's subject to change though. Buttercup looking in every direction for a way to try and pass the governor. And I think she's found it. Whoa! Grease Lightning tried bicycling there. This ain't Stump Track Challenge. Oh, this is kerfuffle. Two BMWs are just at a dead heat. And Penelope completely missed. She's supposed to be good at this. She was created to race, and she can't even race. Yeah, no, you don't get near that. Try again, game. You're 4 seconds off what you did in qualifying. And also like how Dexter and Toon will tie. And Grease Lightning tied with them. Where are you guys going? That's not the road. I stand corrected. Her Corvette is the third most. Oh, no, it's like dead even still. Never mind. And despite the RX-7 being a tuned car, the Corvette still has better brakes. It doesn't seem to have a better driver, though. Come on, Buttercup. Race like a championship contender, not like a back marker. Dexter would probably like that second or first place. He needs redemption because he kind of got screwed in the last one, if I'm honest. But he will not be getting it if he continues that act. Buttercup is just making error after error, and that seems to be costing her points here. If she doesn't clean up her errors. As she makes another small one while I'm saying this. Well, with this current outlook, as Bubbles goes horribly off track again. I mean, it makes sense. She was a mistake too, so, but, you know. Buttercup was kind of yoinked the place from her sister. Buttercup, remain on the tarmac. You don't gain places if you're going through the grass. Dirt rally, this is not. Custo Salvage in 9th place. Oh, I see there is. I was gonna say there's another lap though. No, there's not. So without a look, Twinno will regain the points lead by 4 over XT3. And then from there, it's another 8 Buttercup. Thinking, I don't know why I took like a 5-minute pause there. I'm like trying to think of like something interesting to say, but I just have legitimately nothing. I'm just like out. Like there's nothing left to mention. I am absolutely out of exposition here. So I guess it just means I'm supposed to end the video.